hip hop, hip hop,
Yeah,
hip hop, hip
bars is back.
hip hop,
Sam
hip
Ant,
hop,
oh
hip
God,
hop,
what's
hip
up with you?
hop.
I done watched them niggas do interview after interview. They not coachable.
Pursuing. So when I got to LA and we started shooting A Different World, it wasn't until Debbie came and changed in the second season and kind of changed it and brought a whole feeling. I went down to do School Days first, and that's where I really saw it. That's what we really saw. Oh snap! There's black colleges in the South, and they get down. Never knew that. And the next thing you know, when I was doing A Different World, it didn't feel like that. The first season didn't feel like that, so I didn't make that direct connection. It didn't really stick with me as something that was important. And it
How
wasn't until Debbie came, and then it was important.
yeah, how influential was she being from alumni from Howard, coming in there and kind of looking at it and going, this was different? Can you talk about how some of the things that she did to change it up?
Oh wow. Yeah, she made us. There was step shows. There was a pit. There was, we had to kind of turn the pit into a place where all the kids kind of hung out. There was step shows there. There were debates there. Like everything that was happening, the pit was our home away from home. Um, yeah, she just wanted to make the show more relevant. So she introduced the idea of topics like whatever's going on in the world, these kids need to be talking about, whether they're taking over radio stations and protesting and speaking out and you know addressing all the issues that were kind of surrounding the kids at the time. That was, for me, that was all her, because I was there before her and then I was there when she got there, and I saw the difference was night and day. And everything that made sense about it and made it something that people still hold on to today, I think is because of her presence and because of where she went to school. And then she could come in and talk to the writers and direct them and guide them on a path that kind of led us to where we are, where we went.
So,
Now you got shows like The Different World, The Cosby Show, Living Single. You had it, back in the 80s and 90s. But you don't see those kind of shows anymore. Why do you think it is that now we're kind of in a love and hip hop age, and those shows like you guys show, The Cosby and the other shows kind of showed us a different way for black families? What do you think happened from the 80s and 90s to now?
Um, it seemed like there was a kind of a shift
Mhm.
when it was all about. Bill started it because he was a comedian who was pretty much telling his life through this show. And once his show was done, they kind of leaned towards comedians. It was like, okay, well, we don't need to get uh, a solid house, and it's built on this foundation. We can start that with a comedian and let him tell his story. And the issues weren't as important as it was that it was comical. So so I think that was the beginning. And how we get to love and hip hop, that just seems like the reality boom is cheaper to make. Like, if you got six really good cast members, you're gonna have to pay them, and then you're gonna have to pay really good writers to write this script, and then you're gonna have to da 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 da. And it seemed like the charges would add up. Whereas if you got love and hip hop, you can pay them much less. You can shoot it for much cheaper. You don't need many writers. You just need some people in a room to flip some ideas and then let everybody kind of make it up. No rehearsals. You don't have to rehearse for a week in order to shoot an episode of Love and Hip Hop. So I guess it just seemed like there was a reality boom, almost like the tech boom. They're not directly related, but kind of way things kind of blow up and then they go back down. The reality boom kind of took over, and then it was like, hey, we can make dirt cheap TV that's entertaining because everybody likes a car wreck, but we
Right.
didn't have the balance. We didn't have the balance of, okay, we got love and hip hop, and then we got uh, a show that means something, that's saying something about something. So as long as you got the two of them, then nobody's really mad. It's just that when you're starving and you don't get no fucking vegetables to go with all that meat, you get
Yeah.
sick.
Now,
So,
yeah. Now you talked about in one of your interviews, you talked about the reboot and that you guys, the cast, wanted to do it, and you said that pretty much like the owners of the show didn't want to do it. Why do you
yeah.
think that is? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I wish I could tell you exactly. Like, it's all speculation.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't they? It's like,
Right.
we got an idea. How about we make some more money together? We know y'all like money. You've always liked money. So how about we make some more money together? And if you're not interested, then okay. And the people, the fans are interested and they're calling for it on the left, and the old producers are trying to get to it and be like, okay, well, just give us the rights to it. Let us just have the name so we can go out and redo it. And they don't seem to be interested. You can make up a whole bunch of reasons why until I get them in the room and say, now why y'all mess around and go ahead and do that other shit and won't do ours?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
Then I'd be guessing and starting fires, and I don't know if it's time to start a fire.
Yeah.
That time may come, but it might not be now.
Now, the grand connection between A Different World and The Cosby Show was Lisa Bonet, who played Denise on the show.
Yes, sir.
Now, at the time, I know she got pregnant. She played some movies that Mr. Cosby didn't particularly like, and they had some tension. And then it was said that she got pregnant, and they wanted to add it into the storyline, but he didn't want that. Lisa
Yeah.
Bonet was pregnant, not Denise. How was it at that time on set during that time playing the character that you played, such a prominent character on the show? And what did you feel like during that part of the show?
Well, it's wild how it happened. It happened kind of over a summer. So we went from the last episode where, Dwayne and Denise finally had a little romantic moment where she was kind of leaning towards him. The last episode she did, uh, and then the summer happened, and then she never came back. And then Debbie, so there was no on set. We weren't on set when that all went down. That all went down over the summer. So when we came back to work, we looking around and we got new folks. And Debbie was there, which was great. We were happy that Debbie was taking over, but where did Lisa go? What happened to Marissa? Like, well, and now they changed it up. Boss man said, nope, it's not gonna happen. So that yeah, there was, I was not happy about it because she was my friend and it seemed like she was getting, you know, suckered out of a job and all the stuff that we could have done together as a cast, with Debbie and putting that on. It would have been, I thought it would have been phenomenal just to show, as long as you can inspire people, if you can show them something in a way, like a light, a way to do it, then it you with television, you really it doesn't blow your mind because you were inspired by it to go on and do what you did. And what if there's a pregnant girl who's in college who's down on her luck, or a pregnant girl anywhere who's down on her luck, and you turn on TV and you see here's a pregnant girl in school doing her thing but struggling, blah blah blah. Maybe you lift them up, and maybe you inspire them to something else. I've seen it happen, and I was just kind of bummed out that it didn't get a chance to happen this time.
Yeah.
Now, Bill Cosby, I don't know how much you know him. I know you want to show one time, but now seeing what he's going through,
Mhm.
what's your thoughts on that and just the allegations and him being, locked up right now?
Um, yeah, when I first heard it, like I honestly thought, well, like when did this happen? And I was like, wow, that was a long time ago. That was back in the days when, you know, I remember part of the 70s because I'm born in the 60s. So I I knew about the sex and drugs and rock and roll of the 70s. And, I have no, I'm sure that I know they're victims to this. And I feel for them. But I just was, I don't have any answers because me and him wasn't tight like that. So I could talk and get a read on, is he the type of cat that would do this? Or is this some bullshit? So I
Yeah.
never really got that. I couldn't really, we didn't rap like that. So when it came out, I just, I didn't pick a side. I was just like, that's jacked up. And yeah, I mean, it's weird when they catch you for that old stuff and then make you pay for it. And usually when you old and rich, they make you pay with money. But somehow they decided to make him pay with time, which is what you have, I guess, which is most valuable to you because you're older. So your time is short. So to take his time like that, I guess if you have to ask the victims, it's fair. Um, and if you look at him, he said, I could have probably bought my way out of this and made some people happy, donated to this and donated to that and started this and started that. But is he a threat still? And is he paying for when he was a shark? Now that he's he's a older, kind of much less aggressive threat to anybody. I don't know. It's complicated, but that's other people's shit. I try not to get into.
Did you by any chance hear what Lisa Bonet had to say about the situation?
No, what she said.
Well, from the interview, it pretty much said, asked if she sensed the darkness. Bonet said always, and if I had anything more to reveal, then it would have happened a long time ago. That's my nature. The truth will set you free. Hold on, let me go back. Hold on.
Mm.
Hold up.
Yeah, she,
Hold on, let me finish this real quick, because I ain't read the top part. But she put, but there was an energy, and that type of sinister shadow energy cannot be concealed. That's what she said when she was asked about Bill Cosby.
Mm.
This is by way of the deadline.com.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That,
hey, I would trust that more than I would trust me. I really like. I met him in that room. We had that audition. I think during the show, even though we shared some lines during the scene, he might have came to me at one point and said something else once, and then he came out to a different world to visit when we were doing the Tisha Campbell, um, and Whoopi Goldberg was on the AIDS episode of A Different World. He came to set to visit, and we never really spoke like that. Like, so I would definitely take her word for it, or Malcolm's word, or Keisha's word, or anybody who spent any extended amount of time with him. And Lisa's good like that. I bet you she could see something that maybe others couldn't. She was in tune.